You could be with the crowd and everyone's like, oh, what the f*** is going on? And you're just like... This is a duo who go by the name Sha Ru. And their live setup is actually quite simple, but as per usual, like this has become a trend at this point on this channel, that yes, Elektron boxes do have limits, but within those limits, they seem to be limitless in the way that you could sort of integrate them into any given setup. In the case of Sha Ru, in this video, they walk me through their setup, which includes ways that I've never even considered using the Digitakt. Their setup also includes live motion elements, like a Midi guitar, as well as another motion sensor. This live setup absolutely blew my mind. If you're into videos like this, of course, it's always fun to have you guys hanging around here. You can also visit patreon.com/LiamKillenMusic, which is linked in the comment section, as well as the description of this video. There's all sorts of rewards there that you guys may be interested in. And it's also a great way to just keep this channel going. There are affiliate links for the Digitakt 2 in the description of this video as well. Using any of those links would be a huge support to this channel, and of course, thank you to anyone who has used those links. Now, let's get into Sha Ru's setup. So let's just start off, break down the setup, break down what's going on here. You have a guitar, you have the Digitakt 2, we have Ableton off to the side, and you have this thing too?
Yeah, the Digitakt is the way we control Ableton. We also use it as a sampler, of course.
Okay.
So it works both ways. I have a Midi guitar sending Midi via Bluetooth, and that's why I need to use a computer because Digitakt doesn't get Bluetooth in. So I'm using a computer to receive the Midi from the guitar, and then I send it to the Digitakt through the USB.
Okay.
This thing is something that we've been building. It's on DIY prototype type.
You guys are building that?
Yeah, we've been building this. And the final form is going to be something that is going to be on our wrist and also works with Bluetooth. We have one that works with Bluetooth, but we're just going to have this today to keep it simple. I'm using this as an extra controller, and basically it's just sending MIDI CC, and it has motion sensor too. And this is gonna control for now something on the Digitakt 2. Basically the way I'm doing, I have the guitar. I usually set up 4 strings, and I'm using this 4 channel on the Digitakt. Since the Digitakt is monophonic and guitar is a polyphonic instrument, I have to split each chord through a different sound on the Digitakt, because I wouldn't be able to play 2 chords on the one track, right? So the way I'm doing it, each chord sends an input on a different MIDI channel and then goes to the 4 of the Digitakt.
Okay, so these are all like technically the same sound?
Same sound.
Okay.
So this guitar also has a motion sensor, and sometimes I like to do different parameter on the same sound.
Okay.
So for example, sometimes I pan the stereo of this chord to the right and the stereo of this to the left. So when I go up and down, I create like different effect. And the way I'm doing this is through the pitch. So this send a pitch envelope, a pitch like signal through the Digitakt. I go to the setup. The first thing I need to do is to put the pitch bend to 0, because otherwise if this is up, it's gonna also change the pitch. And then I go to the pitch bend pitch. And here I have the modulation that I'm assigning to the pitch modulation.
Okay.
So
I don't even know what page is that.
So I go to the track, setup, and then you scroll down.
These are controls I didn't even...
Yeah, you press on it. And then here, this one is free. So if you touch the top, you decide what to assign.
Yeah.
Let's do the resonance. And then when I go up, the resonance is going to change. So now also the resonance of the filter is going to be affected when I go up and down.
Are these controls that you kind of mess around with during the show?
No. So
it's all preset.
I set this and I do preset, and then I save the sound as a preset, and then I have my preset page. I just save it, or I prepare the pattern with all the sound and stuff. Sometimes I do it during the show. So for example, when we do hybrid shows, so it means that we DJ and then I do stuff on top with the Digitakt, I have a bit more time to think about stuff, and sometimes I come up with idea, especially with this one. I will set it up on the spot.
Right.
But with the guitar, since I have already a lot of things to do and play notes and stuff, this is routed to the pitch control, and this is working like a modulation wheel. So this is sending signal on the CC channel of the modulation wheel. So I'm doing the same thing by setting it up here in the modulation wheel. So during the show, I'm like, oh, I want to affect this. I go there and I do it, and I can control it with this.
I mean, I think it's like another important thing to mention about all of this, because it's two of us traveling all the time for the music purposes. Like, we decided to really make our setup as compact as possible, so all of this fits in a backpack. The idea was to find a way how we can control the vocals. Before we used to have DC Helicon, then we used Ableton Push, but both of them are quite big or heavy, and so basically we decided to use Digitakt to control the vocal effects, and then I also used this to control some parameters on my vocals. I mean, it all makes sense to go, step by step. So yeah, basically on track 16 is how I access different effects that were assigned to my vocals on Digitakt. So obviously you can hear my vocal right now. And then, so we have on-off auto-tune parameters. So if it's above 50%, then it's on, and this is the amount. The same thing with the filter. If it's over 50%, it's on.
This is fucking so cool.
Yeah, and then, so we have the pitch that we can also control, and then delay.
Delay and doubler on top.
Delay and doubler. So quite a lot of different things that we'll have.
And I mean, all these effects are inside Ableton because the Digitakt doesn't take an audio in.
The thing that's amazing is that it's like you're both relying on the Digitakt during the show. Is that how it happens? Like you're kind of both going to it and changing things and whatever?
Yeah, our show is very it's a lot of dynamics. Sometimes she goes in front of the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I go in front. So there is a lot of dynamics.
Okay.
And when she goes in front and she sings, of course, I'm controlling her effects.
Yeah, but also there is a ways how, if we have songs, or even parts of the song that have different set of effects, we can have different patterns. I have different values set on my effects here, so I can just quickly switch in between.
Cool.
He does not really need to control it. I mean, another cool thing that I can actually assign each of these effects. Let's say this one would have a lot of delay, then this one some doubler, some pitch, mess around with it. And then set up things like that. In terms of the Midi controller that we've been developing, if I go to another track where we have the sample loaded with my vocal already, what I really like to play with is the slice grid. For me, it's more like jamming part of the set when I don't perform. I think for me it's enough to be live present in a moment with my vocal, and when I want to play around, this is something that I prepared in advance, and I already know how I like to jam around with it. And that's why it's also fun, beforehand at home, just recording short takes of my vocals and then trying different effects. And then basically, so for instance, I really like playing with the slice grid, but also at the same time with the tune of it. But one of the things that we saw on TikTok, when they put the rubber bands around the two things. Oh, maybe you can even put two. Wait, you can put two. So we saw this on TikTok and we were like, okay, how can we actually implement it in our live set? And we were already developing this. So the cool thing about it that we can actually set up multiple parameters to go at the same time. So you can show the setup page.
The same thing. This one worked with the modulation
wheel. So we can assign a tune, slice grid, and then one of the effects, for instance, I like to use a lot is Beat Crusher, for instance. And then I can control all of them at the same time with this little MIDI controller. And for me, it's perfect during live set because I move a lot around the stage and I can just play around with it. So let's try now.
You can assign up
You could be with the crowd and everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? And you're just But so wait, there's buttons on this too? Is it really just a motion thing?
Yeah, it has X and Y.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now it's quite simple. They're just controlling the modulation wheel. You can see the modulation wheel just goes up and down. It's the same thing. You can do with any MIDI controller, basically.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to have this. If you have a keyboard. The cool thing is that you can assign 4 parameters at the same time. That's why
so cool.
I really like it. With this helps you to create much more integrated kind of modulation.
Very cool. Can you give us some more examples on how you use the guitar?
So So this is as like dubstepping. And when I go up, I assign the LFO to go up. And then if I go more, also the speed of the LFO is gonna change. And if I go down, the other things I can do, I use different pattern for different sound. So here there is a bit of tuning, and the filter is opening.
Yeah.
So when we do the live, I've been using a lot also of the computer. This is some new thing we're doing, so I can put the vocals there.
That's pretty cool. Everyone's always developing a setup. Like there's never a setup that's complete, right? So is there anything that you would like to add in addition to what's already happening here?
What we show is like what we do with the Digitakt. We also do like stuff in the box for sure.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of effects and stuff like that. And for us, yeah, we would love to have like a lot of machine, a lot of pedals, a lot of that, but we cannot really do that because we travel a lot. Also, it's two people traveling. We need to have it as easy as possible. Like, you know, especially where you take flights and stuff. Like if it goes inside the backpack for us, it's like, it's good.
Crucial, yeah.
Yeah, it's crucial. I don't want to be looking at the computer when I'm playing. Like, yeah, I would love to have like an effect pedal here for the vocal, but it's gonna take more space. I can just have this to have this kind of feeling or improvisation and stuff.
And like, what makes you choose this over like a really good MIDI controller in combination with Ableton?
Because this can play samples too, so I take off a bit of load from Ableton. So what we used to do before I started doing this, the live, I will play a sampler on Ableton, and the vocal go on Ableton, and the effect goes on Ableton, and we have to keep it on 64 or 128 max not to have a latency. And sometimes, you know, the computer is a bit too much for it, especially when you have like Bluetooth going inside and stuff. So this gives you the possibility to have like, you know, take off a lot of load, especially when playing the guitar. It's much easier for this because it takes off some CPU from the computer, and the computer is mostly like for playing backing tracks and controlling the vocals.
And I guess from my side is like what we were saying before, is like I really love having this band feeling, even though we do electronic music, and that's why like the MIDI guitar and the MIDI controller really feels right for this setup. But once again, it's just always about the volume for us and the weight and the backpack size. So this is, I think, like the next step of what we want to do in our live set is definitely develop this, where it gets more and more complex and more in control.
Usually it's like an evolution. Like now it's like
it feels good.
Digitakt is good, and also we use it for productions too. The same like MIDI routing and stuff, like this I use as a sequencer. The sequencer is very good. I feel like. So like,
I'm all about the sequencer.
Yeah.
On this thing, I'm like obsessed with it.